What exactly is work experience as defined by the IIMs? Okay, a lot of people have this problem. There is a cutoff date, 31st July, right? As of 31st July, however months of paid for full-time work experience after graduation is considered work experience by CAT, by IIMs. At least that's the official part. Now, you don't have to prove your work experience right now. You will have to prove your work experience at the time of interview, and the same documents has to be submitted when you're entering the college as well. Word of advice, blanket word of advice for anyone who is watching this: do not try to fudge your work experience documents, right? It is simply not worth it. If you get caught, your admission is going to be cancelled from a on retrospective basis. What I mean by retrospective basis is that suppose you fudge your work experience, you got some marks on the basis of that work experience, you enter college in CAT 2021, and you basically you enter college in 2021, finish your college in 2023. The IIMs find out in 2024 that you had fudged your documents, your degree will be cancelled immediately, which means that the job that you had as a result of clearing CAT 2021 and CAT 2020, completing your IIM from 2021 to 2023, irrespective of whichever company it is, whether it's an investment bank, a startup, anything, those employers will be informed about your fake degree. Your degree will be taken away, and basically it's going to be a pretty painful experience as such. If you want to know whether this is true or not, I'm pretty sure you would have heard of this serial called Savdhan India, right? So there was one episode in which NMAT fake certifications were detected, and those people's degrees were taken out on a retrospective manner. That's based on real stories, right? So don't be stupid. Don't fake your work experience certificate. Okay, so now let's look at the gray areas in this work experience. After graduation, a lot of people join as interns, especially people from places like BITS and some of the IITs where they have a dual degree program, and the last one semester or last 6 months is usually in BITS it's called a practice school. In IITs it's a internship. It's a summer semester or a winter semester depending on when you take that, right? And then they join the company after that. So let's take a simple example. Suppose you were to graduate in 2018, right? In July 2018, but you had your final internship or your practice school in January 2018. You completed your practice school, got your degree before that, got a degree, and then started working after that, right? Your work experience will be counted from July 2018, right? You cannot start your work experience from January 2018, right? So it's only after graduation paid for. Okay. The second thing is paid for. If you are not getting paid for your job, if you're volunteering in an NGO, if you are doing an unpaid internship in a company, that is not considered work experience. You have to be paid for that. Even if it is 1 rupee, it's still work experience. If it is you're working for a certificate or just for your knowledge sake, etc., it is not considered a work experience. Third thing is full-time. For most people, that is pretty straightforward. There are some people who are self-employed, or you are a part of like a gig economy. It can be as simple as driving an Uber on a part-time basis, or working as a web developer or as a contract employee online. Again, as long as you can prove that this is the amount of time I've worked, usually 40 hours a week is considered to be a full-time employee. I'll come to the gig economy guys a little later in this session. It's covered over here, but for everyone else, it's a full-time sort of a work experience. That is what is counted as in the work experience column. Okay. If you have any queries in that, please let us know in the chat section. I will answer the chat at the end of it. Okay, next one, which a lot of people worry about, even though they should not be worrying immediately, is the quality of work experience. There are multiple scenarios, and there is one particular case when it comes to coaching class, teaching jobs, etc. But most of the other cases, it's pretty straightforward. If you work in an MNC company versus a small private company, does the quality of work experience matter? Initially, for the purposes of your CAT application shortlist, no. All IIMs ask for and most colleges ask for are basically the quantity of work experience. How many months did you work in a particular company? They are not going to be evaluating the quality of work experience. Quality of work experience is evaluated at the time of the interview. So don't worry about whether you're working in an MNC job or a small company. That doesn't matter. Same goes with IT industry. Suppose you're working in a coding you're a mechanical engineer, you're working as a coder, or you're a production engineer working as a coder, right? Versus say a core job, like some of your mechanical engineering friends or a production engineering friends are actually working in a factory. Does it make any difference for your shortlisting process? No. It will matter in the interview stage. Again, the quantity of work experience is what is counted, what is calculated right now. The quality is not going to be checked upon here. Next one is about family business, right? There are a lot of people who work in a variety of family businesses, right? There are people who work in their parents or their family owns a bunch of shops. You have to go and sit in a shop. How do you show your work experience over there? Some other cases where you actually have a proper large scale business, factories, etc. to manage the factory, etc. The best way out is when we'll come to the documentation part of the work experience a little later on in this session, but try to get as many documents as possible. I'll also list out the documents which you need to prove the quantity of your work experience if needed, right? But if you are working in a family business, and as a general rule, which I would like to speak about is, even if you're working in a family business, it can be very useful during your interview as a conversation starter or as a future that you want to look at. So even if you don't like your family business, or if your family business is too small for you and your parents themselves don't want you to join the family business, at least know what exactly the family business is about, especially if you are going to get a certificate saying that, I've worked in my family business, etc. Okay, try to get some project. If your family business has a Facebook page or does not have a Facebook page, create a Facebook page. If you can create a one-page website, set up a few ads, set up an Instagram handle, a Twitter handle, depending on whichever social media platform is relevant for a family business. I would suggest take your time and do that. Set it up as much as possible. That will help you speak something more rather than just the standard things that a lot of people speak about in an interview. Okay. The last peculiar query which I get every single year is, what is the work experience that you get if you're working in a coaching class or on a teaching job? I'll split it into two parts. Let me first look at a standard teaching job. There are a lot of students who teach in a school, right? We have had students who taught in a school, proper contract sort of an employee, standard 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, etc. They taught in a school. They get a salary slip, they get a employment letter, not a problem at all, right? What you need to be worried about is the subject that you're going to be teaching. For example, if you're going to be teaching 9th and 10th standard mathematics, I know a lot of it comes in CAT as well. In fact, almost everything in CAT is 9th and 10th standard mathematics. But be ready to get asked a second level sort of a question which the others may not be asked. For example, you might be actually asked about how to prove or try to prove the Pythagoras theorem, right? What is the proof for the Pythagoras theorem, right? So you will need to do some amount of extra study because you're teaching in a school, college, etc. A second sort of teaching experience, which a lot of people get, is in a coaching class. Like we have employed students when I was in time, and it's a pretty standard business practice where students, they teach or they work as marketing executives, etc., in a coaching class, try to promote the business, etc. Right. Couple of things. If you are in a teaching job, again, the same sort of thing will be asked in your just as with your regular teaching job as well. What you might also be asked is, if you score really well in your particular section, suppose you're teaching English, you might be asked a slightly more in-depth question on your teaching and the subject which you're teaching, right? On the other hand, if you're working as a marketing executive or I'm not sure if a lot of people are working as office managers, but anyone who works as a Facebook group manager or a digital marketing executive or a content writer, etc., for a coaching class, right? That is also a pretty nice work experience. Okay. In fact, even for people who are just teaching in a coaching class, if you can actually get some experience in promoting the coaching class, what are the challenges, etc., for a coaching class, I would suggest go and at least learn that. Even if you're not given that role, understand that. I have read on Quora that colleges, etc., do not consider coaching class as a nice business. Honestly speaking, as far as I am concerned, I believe in that dialogue from Satya, Ganda hai par dhanda hai. So it's basically the same. It doesn't matter what job do you do. As Gandhi said, every job has its own dignity. Every job is worth it. In fact, if you are not doing anything versus if you're doing something on a full-time basis, that's any day better than just sitting at home preparing for CAT. This is not a IAS examination.